Hey guys, welcome back to lesson 10, and we're going to continue doing this track, and now we're going to move up to the 4 chord and the 5 chord. Okay, so it's really going to start to test your cage chord knowledge that you've been learning, put it into an actual usable system as well, because that's often part of the trouble when you learn any kind of cage chord based thing. You can play all these chords across the neck, but can you actually use them in the context of a track when you want to? That's what this is all about. So pick up your guitar and let's get started. Hey guys, so if you're just tuning in, then do remember that you can head on over to the website to get all of the interactive tab, the fretboard diagrams, and the full write-ups for every single lesson. It looks great on the mobile, on the desktop, however you're viewing it. Head over there and we'll put the links in the description and in this video. Also, please do like and subscribe to this video if you're enjoying it so far and if you're enjoying the course, as well as leave us a comment. We make sure we get back to every single comment that you guys leave. All right then guys, so last time round we did our main riff. And now we're going to do this bit. So let's just start there, okay? So what's happening in our 12-bar structure now is we've done 4 bars of the root chord. So what do we do now? We go up to 2 bars of our 4 chord. And in the instance of A, the 4 chord is D, okay? So I'm going to kind of be moving around. And if you remember, when I found my root note on the A string, I had 3 chord shapes that I was able to go between. I'd have my C shape, my A shape, both based on that root note, and then I'd easily switch up to that G shape, okay, because it was so easily attached, effortlessly attached to that middle chord, okay. So this part really blends those 3, and you can see how usable it can be, okay. So the first thing to say is I'm deliberately coming away from that riff. I could, if I wanted to, just take that riff up to D, and just copy that and come back down. But I'm going to really push you guys here. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to start by hitting the D7 as a C-shaped chord. So, you know, we've got the root and the flat 7 there. We've got the major 3rd there. That's on the D string, 4th fret. And the octave is up here on the 3rd fret of the B string. So this particular version doesn't actually have a 5th in it, which is fine. And I probably should say there, in fact, that if you do omit the 5th, so don't use the 5th in the chord, it's no problem, okay? The root is important, the 3rd is important because it defines it as a more major sounding chord, and the flat 7th is crucial because then it really becomes the dominant. But the 5th is like a padding. Think of it as like a padding to the root. Okay, so it's the first note as you kind of develop and you go up from 7ths to 9ths to 11ths to 13ths. It's the first note on the guitar that you want to be ditching. Okay, it doesn't bring anything extra to the chord that without it, you know, if you listen to this chord, you can hear that's a dominant 7th chord. It doesn't matter. If I really went out of my way to add the 5th in, I could probably add it there. So it just gives a melody note, but it doesn't actually it doesn't change the chord structure fundamentally. You know, the root defines the chord, then you've got the major 3rd, which defines the major element, and then you've got the flat 7th, which defines it as dominant chord, okay? So, a little bit of insight there. Couldn't be avoided. So we're gonna go from there to the A-shaped one. So we're gonna go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, so I'm jumping up to that chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then on the 4, I'm gonna snap at that chord. Okay? Now, for me, I am playing the full bar at this point. So I'm getting the high strings as well, but if you can't get those, it'll do just as good a job without the high string, okay? But that's what I'm getting here. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Same thing again. 1 and 2 and, but this this time, instead of the A shape, we're going to do the G shape. Okay, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So we snap. So we've got the chord on the 1, then on the 2 and, we attack either this chord or this chord. And then on the 4, we snap either this chord or this chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay. Now, the direction of your right hand isn't too much of an issue either at this point. I wouldn't worry too much about it. You can do all of this with downstrokes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The only thing I'd suggest is that snap, I quite like that as an upstroke. You're deliberately moving out of your 16th note strumming or your 8th note strumming to do that. But at the end of the day, with this kind of riff, that gets an extra cool snap, doesn't it? Because you've got high to low. Low to high, okay, you know, it's subtle. I'll give you that. So what I'm trying to get at is it doesn't matter too much. When you see me play it, I will probably do all downstrokes, apart from the snaps, which I'll deliberately do as an upstroke to make sure I get the highest note first. Okay, but don't worry too much about that. And just as a general word on the right hand here, you should be always trying to keep a kind of solid rhythm going on that hand, okay? 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2. Notice how it's just always doing that movement. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Obviously you break it for the little riff. Okay, so you've got options here depending on what stage you're at. If you're really still working on your rhythm playing, then I would encourage just trying to keep it within that down, up, down, up, down, up vibe, and only break that for the riff. If you're a bit more advanced and you're really comfortable with the fact that you can groove on this, then just do it as feels right to you and try and get really hard hitting on those snaps. Maybe an upstroke on those snaps is an extra thing. So we've now got bars 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and for bars 7 and 8, we come back to our this. Okay, so all together then, up to that point, we have, and I'll play it with the drum beat, 3, 4, bar 1. And then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and okay. So let's just do that one more time. We'll just up the pace a little bit, all right? And we'll finish this whole thing off in the next lesson. But let's just kind of really make sure we're working on that nicely. And I'm going to go up, the original track is at 90 BPM, so quite fast. So let's just stick with, let's go 75, okay? So we're almost at the original pace, but they're still far enough back to consciously be able to go through this. So here we go. After 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, good. So try and get that all together, kind of starting to aim for a decent speed. And in the next video, what we'll do is we'll put together the 5 chord to the 4 chord and the little turnaround section. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. Please do remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. We do our absolute best to answer every single comment. If you've got questions, here is the place to write them so that we can get back to you and really help you out with this stuff. If you want to carry on with this course and you're loving it, then you can find the next lesson right here, and you can start the whole thing. The whole playlist is here on YouTube as well. So click one of those two links and I'll see you in the next lesson.